Hi guys, today I'm going to be trying on one of the brand new Chanel Tweed Eyeshadow Quads. Today I'm going to be putting on the 103 Fauve. I've now done 2 other videos out of the 3 beautiful tweed quads, and what I've done is I've put them into a playlist, and that is titled Chanel Tweeds. So if you want to take a look at the other ones, they are in that playlist, and I'll also link them in the description box below. I've already put my primer on, and the primer that I'm wearing is the Hourglass. It's the Airbrush primer one. It's the Vanish one. It's really lovely, and I've just about finished this, and I'm definitely going to be buying a backup. So I have recently gained quite a few subscribers. So those of you that are new to my channel, I am 53 years old. I live in New Zealand, and my skin is oily. It's not excessively oily, but it is oily throughout the whole year. Now at the moment it's winter here in New Zealand, so it's not as oily as what it is during the summer. So I'm able to use some other foundations that I wouldn't normally use in the summertime. So the foundation that I'm going to put on today is the No1 de Chanel. Now when I did a review of this, I was able to wear it in summer, despite that it is quite a glowy foundation, but I did have to really powder it down. And I think from memory, I actually baked the powder on, and when I did it that way, it did stay on really beautifully with my oily skin, even in the really hot weather. But at the moment we're at the end of winter here, and I think spring's actually come early, and even though it's still quite cold overnight, the days are just absolutely beautiful, and it is getting a bit warmer. So I'm just using the Sonia G. This is the jumbo base brush, and this is one of the brushes that I reach for quite a lot. It's a really beautiful brush and just puts on foundation really beautifully. This foundation does give a really beautiful coverage. There's no doubt about it. And I think that people with normal to dry skin would absolutely love this foundation. I love it too. It's just that it just takes a little bit more fussing around with it, just so that it doesn't move throughout the day. So I've now put on some concealer. I've also powdered under my eyes and my face as well. I use a different powder from under my eyes than what's on my face. The powder that's under my eyes isn't a Chanel one, but everything that I'm putting on I will have listed and linked in the description box below. I've also done my eyebrows, and I've also put eyeshadow primer on as well. Because I have oily skin, I also have oily eyelids, so I have to wear an eyeshadow primer, otherwise my eyeshadow just won't last. So now I'm going to put on some bronzer. I'm going to use one that I haven't reached for quite a while, because Chanel put out those really beautiful oversized bronzers, and I love them. But this is the Beiges. It's the 1 in 10 deep bronze. And I'm just going to grab one of the new travel set brushes that Sonia G recently put out, and this is exactly the same as the brush that I used when I put on my foundation. It's just that it's smaller for travel, so I'll just show you the difference. So this is the Fusion brush that Sonia G put out a while ago, and this is the smaller travel brush. So exactly the same type of natural and synthetic hairs in there, and these are just really great for cream products. So I'm just going to go fairly easy with the bronzer. I don't want to get too carried away with it. I just want to give some warmth to the skin, because this eyeshadow palette is warmer leaning, and it also packs more of a punch than the other Tweed eyeshadow palettes. Well, that's what I've found at this stage. So I don't want to get too crazy with the bronzer. I'm just putting on a very light amount. I can always go in and get a little bit more, but I just think it's quite nice just to have just a very light, just warmth look to the skin. So now let's take a look at the beautiful Chanel Tweed Quad. This is 03 Fauve, And I'll just show you a close-up of the sleeve that it comes in. These are just super pretty, and inside has the Chanel logo. Really, really beautiful. And the quads just have the standard Chanel packaging, and here is the Colour Story Fauve. Really beautiful. This would probably have to be, I think, the most vibrant quad out of the four. You've got a beautiful burnt red orange shade, you've got a yellow gold, you've got a brown and a peach. This is really, really lovely. And it also has that really beautiful tweed embossing. Now the embossing on this quad isn't pristine anymore because my first video that I put up with the Chanel tweeds, I showed and swatched all four of the quads, and the tweed quad that I tried on in that video is the one Couvre, which is really lovely, really beautiful everyday look. But I will swatch these again today. I'm just going to swatch them on the back of my hand. So these have been swatched top to bottom and left to right. And first is that beautiful burnt red orange, and that is a matte but really creamy. Next we have a gold, which is a yellow gold, and that is a satin. Next we have another matte. This is a beautiful brown, and again has that really creamy consistency to it. And then lastly is a peach shade, and that's more of a satin, and it has a little bit of a iridescence to it too. This is a really pretty shade. So I'm going to take the Rapha number 14 brush, and I'm going to start off with this peach shade here, and I'm going to put that in my crease and just take it above it as well. I'm just going to take a bit more from the palette. I have found that these quads, they just blend really, really beautifully. Next I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the Crease Pro, and I'm going to go into this burnt orange shade. Just going to tap very lightly. This shade does pack a punch, and I'm going to put that through my crease and take it just slightly above my crease as well. I'm going to take a Tom Ford brush. This is the number 13 one, and I'm going to go into this brown shade here. This is a matte, and I'm going to put this on the outer corner. This is a beautiful shade, and browns and oranges always look beautiful together. And then it's going to take my Chukahodo, this is the blend brush, and just blend that darker shade out and just soften it out. I haven't taken it up too far. These colours, they pack a punch, and I don't want to take the eye look right up to here. I just want to keep it just nice and soft. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the Crease one, and I just want to go back into that first shade, and I just want to put a little bit more through here so I don't lose the shade. It's really, really beautiful. And then we're going to take the Sonia G, this is the soft shader. I'm going to go back into the matte brown, and I'm going to run that under my lower lash line. I'm going to take the BK Beauty, this is the 204, and with this shade I'm going to run that under my lower lash line as well, but just under, just through here. Then I'm going to take the Refer number 2 and I'm going to go into this gold shade and I'm going to run that through here and just towards the middle. So for eyeliner, I definitely think you could use the darker shade in that quad and that will give a really beautiful soft look. But I am going to use a Chanel eyeliner today and this is in the shade Espresso. So I've now put some mascara on and this is the finished look. And I think this is really lovely. Now I've tried this a couple of times before and I'm not quite sure what I did differently today. Maybe I used less of that bright orange shade, but I love this look. I think this is really, really beautiful. If you love a warm, rich look, you're going to really love this quad. I would say that this is definitely the most pigmented out of all the 4. It's really, really beautiful and it just applied beautifully. The other thing with these quads as well is that I don't find they add any texture to my eyes, which is fabulous when you have mature eyes. The last thing that you want is them to look more textured than what they are. So now I'm going to put on some blush. This is one of the fairly new. It's the Beiges. This is the Waterfresh blush. And this is in the shade Light Peach. And this is the 4th Chanel water blush that I've got. I love them. I just think they just look really beautiful. This is quite a light shade, so it's just going to give a wash of colour. I didn't want too much because the eye look is sort of a bit more bold. So I just put 1 pump of the water blush on the back of my hand. And then I just break it up with my finger. And then that's when all the pigment is released. Now you can either put this on using your fingers, you can use a beauty blender, or you can use a brush, which is what I'm going to use today. And this one is the Sonia G. It's one of the fusion brushes, and this is the classic base. And for lipstick today, I'm going to go bold. Normally I reach for more neutral type of shades, but today I'm going to wear a Chanel one that is a beautiful bright orange. So I'm going to put on some lip liner first, and this one is in the shade Blood Orange. So here is the finished look, and for the lipstick I use the Rouge Coco Flash and it is in the shade Dazzle, and I don't often wear a bold lipstick but I think it goes really lovely with this eyeshadow story. I think it's really beautiful. So this quad is just as gorgeous as the other 2 that I've tried out and also done videos on. Like I was saying earlier, I had tried this quad 2 or 3 times before, and I think for me I was just using a bit too much of that orange shade in there, and now that I went in with less this time, I like this look. I think this is really, really beautiful. They blend beautifully. The packaging is just gorgeous. The embossing on the quad, which will go away after time once you use it. So if you want it in pristine condition, you either can't use it, which would be an absolute shame, or you'll just have to buy or try and get backups when they are released. And these are going to be released on the 1st of September. The sleeves that they come in are just absolutely gorgeous. and I think this is an absolutely beautiful collection, and I think it's a really special one too. I like that I just put a wash of colour on with the blush, and that light peach shade in the Waterfresh blush I think is perfect with the bold lipstick and the eye look being a bit more bold. I think the other water blush that I've got, there's one in Intense Coral, it just would have been too much, but this just gives a beautiful flush to the cheeks. So I just think the overall look is really, really lovely. So I have one more video to do, and that is the one with the more sort of pink plum shades in it, and that is the one Pourpre, and hopefully I'll be able to get that up either the day after this video or within the next couple of days. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.